When Darton students go back to school in the fall, they will notice a change around campus. New emergency call poles have been placed around the campus for convenience in the event of an emergency. Darton Chief of Police James Bracken says these new emergency call poles are a great addition to the campus.
We just had 8 new ones put in. That gives us a total of 30. They start down at the student housing. Each one of them is numbered. There's 3 in the front parking lot of Darton Commons, 1 in the back. There's 3 over at Darton Village South, and then they proceed up through the campus, across the middle of campus, all the way over to the area behind the Albany Museum of Art. And the newest ones we had are up in the middle portion in the front of the campus.
I spoke with 2 Darton students who both agree that the new emergency call poles make them feel safer on campus. They know that help is only a push of a button away.
Yes, I feel a lot safer with emergency poles, and I think it's a good investment. If something happens, it's just easy. Just press a button and someone comes and helps you. Most colleges already have that, like, it's the #1 thing they get. And safety is very important on campus.
I feel safe. I think others will too as they start getting utilized. Hopefully we don't have to utilize them. But I think overall they're good for the student body and a good investment for Darton.
If you ever find yourself in an emergency on campus, these new poles here will allow you to push the button and talk to a person.
Emergency call box number 16, T building parking lot has been activated. Please respond immediately.
For Cavalier Connection, this is JT Fellows reporting. You may know him as the man who rides his bicycle around campus, but Assistant Professor of English Dr. Jamie Barker has been a popular professor among Darton State students since he began teaching here in 2011.
He's have like a really fun personality, you know. He's really confident. He make you be confident too. So I think that's pretty interesting.
He's more real than most teachers. He's a lot like the students, and he's not so uptight about stuff. He's just a real person.
Some faculty members that I spoke with say that Dr. Barker goes above his call and even holds study halls for athletes.
He is probably the most passionate teacher that I've ever seen, because he works with the soccer team and the softball team, and there are always students in here working on papers and stuff like that, and he comes here on the weekends and helps them.
The study hall that he does is not a normal thing at all. Dr. Barker took it upon himself to create the study hall for the athletes. So it's not something that he was asked to do. He saw a need and he sought to fill it.
Dr. Barker tells us that he does his classes differently because of an experience that he had back when he was in high school.
I just try to treat them as people. You know, that sounds weird, but you know, my experience in high school was I got taught at and talked at.
Dr. Jamie Barker has definitely taken the road less traveled in life and tells us about the struggles he has faced and overcome. Among those struggles, he is a 3-time college dropout.
Dropped out the first time. I had a heart issue. Or actually, it's not a heart, it's a vascular issue. I have a pacemaker now, so I'm like bionic and stuff. Caught it. So like, you know, I got a pacemaker. They ran a test on me that said that my heart stopped between 30 and 50 times every night, and that had been going on for over 6 months. The second time was because I was studying abroad. She was a blonde. She was nice. And the third time I dropped out, I lost 5 family members within a year.
Barker gives advice to students who want to be successful, but are maybe facing challenges like he did.
If you want to be successful with your education, it's not, you have to be smart, but it's not just how smart you are. You have to have grit. You have to be tough. You have to be willing to open the book when you don't want to open it anymore. You have to be willing to read when your eyes hurt. You have to be willing to stay up that extra hour. You have to be willing to push yourself when nobody's telling you to.
At Darton State College, JT Fellows, Cavalier Connection. Food services at any college campus is an important issue, and the food services at Darton State is no exception. From meal plans to the price of food, students always have questions or comments.
It's extremely important to get student feedback because every campus is different. So the offerings that we have here are also based on what the student needs are and what they want.
The Darton Cav currently offers 4 different student meal plans for students to choose from, or they can also pay with cash or a credit card. Darton State student Fatima Humari explains why she doesn't eat in the calf that much and what she would like to see changed.
I don't eat in the calf right now simply because meal plans are really expensive. There's not really much of a variety. They have basically the same things every day. I'd like to see more of a variety here, like maybe more vegetarian options.
I conducted a study in seeing what was healthier, a meal from the cafeteria or a comparable meal from a fast food restaurant. Here's what I found. A classic cheeseburger, fries, and a Coca-Cola from the cafeteria had a total of 810 calories, 36 grams of fat, and a whopping 710 milligrams of sodium. Next, I took a trip to McDonald's to see how they fared against the calf food. There, I found that the same meal had 880 calories, 31 grams of fat, and an astounding 960 milligrams of sodium. For those students like Fatima who are looking for healthier options unlike a burger and fries, Peterson tells us what other healthier options the students have.
We have two programs that we're currently running here. One of them is Simple Servings, which is our allergen-free line. We also have our Mindful program, which is identified by different icons on all of our signage. It looks like a heart-shaped apple, and it's called Mindful, and that's to identify different items throughout the calf.
Another big questions that most students had was,
Why don't we have a Chick-fil-A or a Subway?
And the answer to that question?
We are working towards that, and hopefully in the next year to 2 years we'll be able to grow in that direction. We'll make the decisions on what brands, either national or in-house brands, that we feel would best meet the needs of the students for the campus, whether it be Chick-fil-A or Pizza Hut.
My next study was to compare prices for dinner buffets between the Darton State Calf and Ryan's. Both of these are all-you-can-eat prices at dinner time. For an all-you-can-eat meal in the calf, the price was $10 for the food in the food line only, fountain drink, and a dessert. I made a phone call to the local Ryan's restaurant here in Albany, and their price for an adult all-you-can-eat dinner was $13.89. This price included meal, drink, and dessert. For more information about meal plans and to even see the menu for the week ahead, just visit the Dining Services page at dartondining.com. From the Darton State Cafeteria, this is JT Fellows reporting. An email scam is targeting Darton students through their MyDC account. Tracy Cosper, Darton's Chief Technology Officer, explains the details of this scam.
Someone sends you an email, saying, can you help me cash this check? I've won some money, or I have a inheritance or something like that. And what they want you to do is go out and cash the check, and you can keep a portion of it and send the rest back to them. But in all cases, that check is a forgery.
If you do cash one of the forged checks, you could be responsible for the amount on the check.
In a rare case, that check may get cashed. If it is later determined to be a forgery, which we know in most cases it's going to be one, if you don't know who it is that has given you that check, then you shouldn't be trying to cash it.
Now, if you receive one of these spam emails, you need to contact the Technology Division, call Darton Police, and erase it from your inbox and do not respond. Darton Police has confirmed that at least one student has received one of these spam emails, but they will not release the identity of the student. Darton State's Technology Department has deployed new software to combat the issue. For Cavalier Connection, this is JT Fellows reporting. The All Steinway Initiative is a fundraising campaign for the Humanities Division that will supply all Steinway pianos to the Darton Music Department. The Darton Assistant Professor of Piano says the current pianos are very old.
A lot of piano is we bought when the Darton just started up. Basically, it's of 30, 40, 50 years old.
The current pianos in the Darton Music Department are in very bad shape. With the Steinway Initiative, they have the chance to improve the quality of the pianos and help the students with their success. Claire Fox Hillard explains what makes the initiative so special.
There are 150 schools internationally that have the designation of being an all-Steinway school. It's very exclusive. It's the benchmark for pianos.
Two Darton students I talked to say these handcrafted Steinway & Sons pianos can attract future students and are really needed for practice and performance.
When piano majors are looking for schools, there's that's a designation for schools, and that's incredibly special to have all Steinways, all certified and taken care of to Steinway standards. So it could attract just incredible players, I'm sure.
I'm really excited about the initiative. Our pianos here are kind of in bad shape and kind of sound awful. So I'm really excited to get new pianos, and I think it would really help improve our practicing and overall performance, especially for recitals.
For more information about the All Steinway Initiative, or if you would like to donate, please call the Humanities Division office. Their number is 229-317-6554. This is JT Fellows reporting. Darton Technical Theater major Jessie Robinson has won 2 national awards at the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival for her work in sound design for the 39 Steps. Robinson explains how she did her work and what a sound designer actually does.
I have been a technical theater major since fall of 2013, so this is only my 2nd semester doing sound design. That was my very first time doing sound design. I've been involved with theater for about 6 years, and I've always been interested in sound. Sound design can actually mean several different things. It can mean placing monitors or hooking up mics, or it also could mean composing music, different things like that. What I did was compiled all of the music for the show.
Darton theater instructor Deborah Liss Green says this was a rarity for someone to win an award like this.
This is the 2nd time a Darton student has won a national award for their first time designing. Yeah, and that's a really big accomplishment. To get that kind of recognition when it's your first time out is really pretty amazing.
Robinson was 1 out of 6 people chosen for a very special scholarship.
More significant was her receiving a fellowship to the Stagecraft Institute of Las Vegas, which is a very prestigious training program. This year there were 6 people from across the 10-state region, about 175 entries. There were 6 people that the judges felt these were students that were doing exceptional work and showed exceptional promise.
For her future plans, Robinson is planning to go to Armstrong Atlantic State University in Savannah to continue her technical degree and specialize in sound. At Darton State College, JT Fellows, Cavalier Connection. It's flu season, and chances are you're not even thinking about getting a flu shot. Do you usually get your flu shot regularly?
No, I don't. Actually, I've only had the flu shot once in my whole life.
In 2012, the Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center conducted a survey. Only 20% of college students got their flu shot that year. Now is the time to get your flu shot so you won't get sick. The Darton Health Clinic now administers the flu vaccine. Missy East, a nurse practitioner at the clinic, explains what students can expect when they come in for the vaccine, just like I did.
You come into the clinic, you just sign in with your 919 number, you pay your $20 copay, and then you come to the back, and we're glad to give you your vaccine. And that's how quick it is to do a flu shot.
All right. Flu shots at the Darton Health Clinic, $20, and doesn't even hurt. You can also follow these tips to prevent you from getting sick.
We recommend hand washing is number 1. Germ-X is our second source, and we really do encourage students throughout the campus. Anytime you go into a classroom, you touch a desk, you touch a doorknob, especially during this season, you need to be using your hand sanitizers or going to the sinks and washing your hands. For more information, you can call the Darton Health Clinic at 229-317-6584. For Cavalier Connection, this is JT Fellows reporting. First Year Experience is a class that helps new students adjust to college. This year's freshman class will experience something new at Darton, as the First Year Experience class will be changing in the upcoming fall semester. Pat Ridgway, the Assistant Dean of Learning Support, explains why Darton is making the change and why this change should benefit students.
In evaluating the DART course and looking at student evaluations and their comments, we realized that every student was not always getting the same information. And the DART course offers such great information, we thought we need to standardize this a bit more. One of the things that I'm most excited about is that every student who enrolls in the course will be able to get the information he or she needs within the first 8 weeks of the semester. And that's really when students need to know about programs and services that are offered here, academic strategies that they can use to get through their classes, how to prepare for exams, and just about everything we want them to know.
First Year Experience will now only be offered as a half-term course, but not all incoming freshmen will have to take the class.
Used to, every student had to take the DART 1000 class, but now if you have 12 or more credit hours, you do not have to take the DART 1000 class. So if you transfer in with less than 12 credit hours, or if you enter in school with less than 12 transfer hours or credit hours, then you have to take the class.
There will also be a new textbook for the FYE class. It will be written by Darton faculty members.
Our textbook will include information that's more specific to Darton, so it's more relevant for our students to understand these are the programs and services that are available at Darton.
There will be required assignments and a selection of choice assignments for the newly structured class.
Students now have required assignments and optional assignments. And so if you complete the required assignments, you earn a grade of a C. If you want the B or the A, then you have to also participate by going to some of the on-campus events or completing some additional assignments.
All FYE classes will now be hybrid classes. This means that students are expected to spend 2 hours a week in class and 2 more hours on their own time working on assignments.
Everybody will meet for 2 hours a week, and we're hoping that because it's hybrid, that students will use the other 2 hours or the other 2 days to complete their assignments. A lot of the assignments will be online assignments. We're making the reading lab available for students who are in the DART class so that they can go up there. Everybody who works in the lab, the director, the assistant directors, are all very familiar with the course, all very familiar with the assignments, and they are available to help any student who comes up and needs assistance.
This is JT Fellows reporting for Cavalier Connection. Coming up on Cavalier Connection, we'll give you an update on SGA elections. Coming up, I'll tell you about a fundraising initiative for the Humanities Division, which is set to bring new Steinway pianos to the music department. That and much more ahead as Cavalier Connection begins now. Built by students, for students. From Darton Student Television, this is Cavalier Connection. Hello everyone and welcome into Cavalier Connection. I'm JT Fellows.
And I'm Ariel Mallory. Thanks for joining us.
For the first time, the Darton Choir is collaborating with different colleges and the Albany Chorale. Nikki Pope tells you more. From a variety of rides to a hot wing eating contest, students had a fun time at the beach party. Kelsey Lott takes us to the event. For all of us here at Darton Student Television, thank you for watching Cavalier Connection. I'm JT Fellows. Goodbye, Darton State College. The Lady Cavaliers softball team is looking for a fresh start. Eric Neal has been hired as the head coach for the Lady Cavs. Neal was previously a high school coach in Hattiesburg, Mississippi before joining the team in early January. Coach Neal talks about the biggest difference from coaching a high school team and a college team.
The maturity of the kids. It's just easier every day. They're self-motivated, and the level of play is a whole lot bigger and higher, but it's pretty much the same game physically.
With 11 freshmen joining the team, Neal says it's going to be a tough season.
It's going to be a tough year all year, but it looks like pitching is going to be pretty strong. Looks like we're going to be an offensive dominant team, and looks like defense not going to be too bad. And we're just looking forward to building up for all our conference games this season.
The Lady Cavs begin their season on the road for 2 games and feature 10 conference games. To see the entire Lady Cavs season schedule, visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/CavalierConnection. Fall sports programs at Darton are gearing up for another great year. Last year, Darton swept the fall sports. The Cavaliers won region titles in men's and women's soccer, as well as men's and women's cross country. This year's teams are hoping to go on to compete for a national championship. In cross country, men and women's head coach Bruce Skiles says that he lost a lot of runners from last season's team, especially his boys. These new runners are hoping to win their first championship.
A lot of new runners coming in, so I got to feel them out, see what they can do, what they can't do, adjust my workouts accordingly. We're going to go to some big meets, which makes them tougher. I don't go to the little meets just to win them. I go to the meets I get beat up on, which makes my team better. So when I go to the big meets, like regionals and nationals, I do a lot better. I feel pretty confident we're going to win another one this year. It's not regionals. I'm using regionals, but it's nationals I'm looking at. It's the big show.
Skiles feels confident that his teams can compete for a region and a national championship despite facing fierce competition from larger and wealthier schools.
It'd be good for the school and good for my athletes, Another regional championship they can put on their belt, Like my girls, my boys, the ones that are coming back, it'd be 2 for them. Not too many kids can say that, Most people go to a school, they're lucky if they can win one. Most of them can't win them. We've been winning them back to back for several years now.
The first cross-country meet of the season will be held here at Darton on August 31st. After winning a region championship and finishing third in the national tournament last year, men's head soccer coach Bart Sassnett says that he has lost a lot of his championship team from last year.
We have 3 returning starters that are going to be integral in the start of the season because we're going to need their leadership. Jorge Chirinos, Alejandro Garcia, and Alan Kuhn all started last year for us, so we're excited they're returning. We've got basically a whole new team coming in, so we're excited. We lost 3 All-Americans and 10 guys who played in 2 national tournaments. So it's a little bit of a revamp, but we're excited.
After being region champs for the last 3 years, Coach Sassnett wants to win a national championship this season. He says there's a lot of pressure, but his team needs to take this season one step at a time and stay focused under pressure.
Winning the national championship means everything. That's our number one goal, and you know, we like to win the region, but we've won it 3 times straight. So we've got our eye on the big prize, but we want to stay humble and stay focused on the little things first, and just want to work on getting these kids in here and building chemistry and trying to find a way to get to that national tournament again. It's going to be a long road, but I think if we take it day by day, we'll be okay.
The first match for the men's soccer team will be held on August 25th in Atlanta against Monroe Community College from New York. On to women's soccer now, and head coach Ken Valens, who says that he has half of the last year's team returning.
We're bringing back 10 kids from last season to start off this year, and then of course we got 11 new kids coming in. Some of those are transfers actually from other 4-year schools. So you start with new, but they've got some college experience already.
The biggest challenge that the women's soccer team will be facing is teamwork and chemistry, with a lot of new players coming in. Valens also says that there is a little bit of pressure coming into this season because they have been so close to winning the national championship in years past.
I think anytime, every year when you're at the 2-year level, when you're trying to mesh kids right out of high school with kids who've been out for a year, it's getting those personalities together, getting them to buy into what you're trying to do.
Valens hopes to have a good start to the season and hopefully cruise right to the tournament.
I think we got a good start to the season. We got kind of a good plan. We need some games to gel a little bit and kind of growth, get to the level we want to be, but ultimately the season's going to help us progress, so every game is just one more game to get us ready for tournament time.
The women's soccer team will open up their season on the road August 19th in Mississippi. After talking to all 3 coaches, they have one thing on their mind: winning a region championship and going to compete for a national title. They hope to add some more trophies to the trophy case here at Darton. For Cavalier Connection, this is JT Fellows reporting. Hey sports fans, this is JT Fellows. We're here at Humill Stadium watching the Lee County Trojans take on the Albany High Indians. Here are the sights and sounds from this game. All right, and that's going to wrap things up here from Humill Stadium. I'm JT Fellows, your campus correspondent. Let's send it back to the guys in the studio. Hello everyone, I'm JT Fellows. I'm being joined now by Dr. Paul Jones, interim president of Darton State College. Dr. Jones, good morning. Thanks for joining me today.
Glad to join you, JT.
Let's rewind the clock here to your first day on the job as interim president. What was your first impression of the college?
Well, I think that going back almost 4 weeks now, great first impression. Obviously, the change was a significant change, and I was still trying to figure out where I was on day one. But I think in terms of my impression, the people were wonderful. I think I knew that I came to a place that people cared deeply about the institution. And I think people genuinely wanted to help get me off to a good start. So I felt really good about being here, although there was a great deal of anxiety upon my arrival, as you can imagine.
Is there something in particular that you would like to accomplish here?
Well, you know, as I've told people from day one, my agenda is clear. It's to really help move Darton State College to the next level of excellence. I don't come with a hidden agenda. I come with an agenda really to help this institution and to build up on the foundation that has been built here. I think Dr. Serino had extraordinary vision. He certainly accomplished a great deal, and my hope is that I can contribute in some way in helping this institution move forward.
Now, what's the difference between an interim president and president as far as duties and responsibilities are concerned?
Well, good question, JT. You know, I would say that you, as interim or the permanent president, you have the same rights, privileges, responsibilities as you would as a permanent president. I think the main difference is that as an interim, you know that your time is short, whatever that time frame would be, versus the permanent president, where you can begin to lay out an agenda that may take you into the next 3 or 5 years. That's not the case here. However, that doesn't mean that you come and put it in neutral, that you still want to make sure you're contributing to the institution and trying to move it forward. It's a unique opportunity, I think, for the institution when they have an interim president, because this is a time that we can examine our strengths and weaknesses and really began to lay that foundation and address maybe some of the issues or challenges that we may have, so that as the next president comes in, you've done a good job of doing that. And you don't always have that luxury of doing that. So it's a real opportunity for, I think, the institution at this point in time.
Now, I know you've been interim president before. Is there a lot of pressure for you in particular as being interim president? Well,
You know, again, as a senior administrator, you have, there's always pressure. I'm a former athlete, so I understand pressure quite well, and I've never ran from pressure. And so I would say that for me, I think it's a unique opportunity that I've had the first time and the second time. However, I don't feel any more pressure than I did in any other responsibilities or roles that I played over the last 27, 28 years of my career.
In November, it was announced that Southern Polytechnic State University and Kennesaw State University would be merging. Do you think there's a merger possible in Darton's future?
You know, again, I answer this question the same way every time. There's no discussion that I've had with the Board of Regents or with the Chancellor, and I'm not going to spend my time focused on something that I don't have any control over. I think what we need to do at Darton State College is really to focus on the things that we can control and do the best possible job that we can do, so that whatever happens with Darton State College in the next 10, 15, whatever that time frame is, that they will do well by Darton State College. I think the key for all of us is to ensure that we're serving Southwest Georgia to the best of our ability. And that's what I want this institution to focus on, because quite frankly, I don't have any control over those things, and so I'm not going to stress about the what ifs. I'm going to spend my time in a positive way.
Now, you hold an undergraduate degree in journalism. Do you feel like you ever get to use that degree now in your current profession?
Absolutely. I think I was telling someone earlier, not today, but a few weeks ago, about what impact that's had on me. I think I've used that, just like I talk about my athletic background, that there were a lot of transferable skills. And I think the same is true with journalism. I write, I speak, I do a number of things. So while I'm not a reporter per se, I spend a lot of time utilizing those skills right at this moment. So I think that I would say the answer to that is absolutely.
Now, you've been in higher education for more than 25 years. Do you know if there's any trends now that could affect the future of higher education?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of trends. I think these are some challenging times for higher education. There's a tremendous shift today in higher ed, and the things that we're facing today. I think we're at a critical time in higher education where we have a number of things we're calling disruptions, technology being one of those. We also have to be concerned about the cost of higher education and Certainly Darton State College has done an extraordinary job of keeping costs down. But there are all these things that are going on. The general public's perception of higher education is probably at an all-time low. And so I think we got to build that confidence again in the very people who support higher education. But I do think there are a number of factors that we're facing today that we've not faced before. And you know, certainly the support coming from the state has declined over the years as the state has seen other issues arise, you know, whether it's health care or the correction facility, whatever the case may be. So all of those things, I think, are things that have some impact on higher education.
The nursing program at Darton is the only program that offers a 4-year program. When will other programs offer 4-year degrees?
Excellent question. You know, when I came on board, that was the very first question that I asked. And what I wanted to learn was whether or not we have been having these discussions with within the campus community, but also if we had any discussions with the Board of Regents. What I learned in conversations with a number of people is that we have submitted at least 2 additional baccalaureate programs, and they're at the proposal stage. And they're in the healthcare, health-related areas. I think part of it, and I think again, this is a really good opportunity, I think, for Darton State College, is to really take a moment to re-examine where we're going, what we'd like to do, what programs make the most sense for this institution going forward. So I think we want to have a lot of discussions. Certainly we can't do all things, and I think that's one of those trends that we've been able to do that for many, many years, but no longer can we do that. So whatever we do, let's do it at a high level of excellence. And so I want us to begin to have those conversations so we can really think about what makes the most sense. Where should we expend our resources going forward? But I do know those 2 programs are in the health-related area, and I believe they're respiratory care, respiratory care, and the health informatics program.
Now, how long do you imagine you'll be here at Darton serving as the interim president?
I don't know. I know that at least right now that I'll be here at a minimum of 1 year through the academic year, but I don't know. I think a lot of that depends on how we're able to address some of our challenges and begin to focus on what are those opportunities that we can address over the coming months. But at this particular time, I know at least I'm here 12 months.
All right, we're going to end it right there. Dr. Paul Jones, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, JT. Appreciate it.